Good morning, all. Today's January 31st, 2022. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to call this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners to order. Item 2, please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks again, everyone, for attending. We have one citizen that desires to be heard, and it's Miss Lisa New. Ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Lisa New with Helping Community Paws and Claws, and I'm here to talk about the shelter again. I really would like for us to get a Logan County animal shelter, which is much needed here in Logan County. Our last meeting was January, I believe, 3rd. We talked about grant money. I did some research. Damon, did you find anybody that done any research on any grant money?
I haven't yet. We've been
Pretty busy, I get it. Okay, so I did do some research. There's tons of COVID money, grant money for pre-existing shelters, animal rescue shelters that are already pre-existing. I did not find anything in my entity about shelter money to be built a shelter, to build a shelter. It was all pre-existing shelters, so I hit a roadblock on that one. But I did call Mustang Animal Shelter to find out how they got their shelter done. And they extended an expired sales tax, which was able to get a brand new shelter built and do a lot of upgrades in Mustang. Out of 77 counties in Oklahoma, how many county shelters do you think there are? One, Pittsburgh County, which totally floored me. It explains why we're in the kind of crisis we're in. Because one county shelter is in 77 counties. I just could not believe it. And I'm not talking about people that have 501c3s, people like us, Free to Live, Bella Foundation. We're all busting at the seams. And so they got their county shelter in 2008, and they did 50 runs. They have 50 places to put animals. And I think it was a 1/4 cent sales tax that was extended that they took for their shelter, and it employs 5 people and a vet to come in and do spay and neuters. So that's where I found that at. And Mustang, Oklahoma City, same thing. They've just received their new shelter. It was to extend a sales tax that was expired to get that. I spoke with Damon I texted him on January 5th to offer some help. I have some pins, I bought out actually Fogas bought out a shelter, or it was a boarding facility that went out of business. So we have 20-something pins, and she graciously donated those to me for my cause. So I proposed to maybe take 3 or 4 of those and put those over in the yard over at the sheriff department, in the inmate's yard. I'm not sure what you'll call that, but we talked about that. And right?
Yes, we did talk about that.
And I think it's a great idea because it gives them a place. You know, I'm willing to donate those if you guys can build a pad to put them on, and then the inmates could help take care of it. I mean, this could be a really good program that we could be starting here. But that would at least give them, not calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, what do I do with this dog? Or call Free to Live whenever nobody's going to answer the phone and the city's not going to help with you guys. At least gives them an emergency hub to put an animal in the middle of the night when you guys do raids or there's a fire or something. So we did talk about that. And I don't know if this is an appropriate place to ask this question, but the grow farms that are here in Logan County, do they have to get permits from Logan County to be here, or do they do the OMMA deal and get their permitting and their licensing from them?
Okay, ma'am. With getting on the agenda as a citizen wishing to speak, we can't have an iterative discussion.
We can't do that, okay, that, I didn't know that. So, okay, so that's my,
This is for you to
Just
bring
bring it to you.
information to the board.
okay, so those are what I have come up with since our last meeting. So what do I need to do to move forward? Get on the agenda?
Well, yeah, if we put you on the agenda, then we can discuss it a little more iterative, in a way. So, for right now, though, we appreciate you coming in
Okay.
and bringing us up to speed on that.
Well, I just really appreciate you guys even hearing me. I just know that we got to get a county shelter. I'm not
I'd be
sure,
happy to put you on the agenda.
I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but we got to step up. And, so I guess I can get with you guys after the meeting on some of the things that we talked about? Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Yeah.
That way we can,
Yeah, a commissioner individually, I guess, since I'm your commissioner, you can talk to me.
that'd be great.
Well.
I'll bring donuts again.
I don't need them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
You're so welcome. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Item 4, consideration of possible action on minutes of January 3rd, 24th, and 28th.
I'll move that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Finish signing this. Okay. Number 5, consideration of possible action on final plat of Cumberland Farm in the north half of the northeast quarter of section 11-16 north and 3 west.
Morning.
Morning.
How you doing? Good, how are you? Better than I deserve. So, just right off the top, we're looking for some language that.
This is the wrong
That's
Are
gonna
those
be
those aren't
temporary.
waters, are they?
No.
one. I have the other plan in my truck.
Okay, if you want to go get it with us,
It's right out there.
that's all right.
Unless they have it in the canister.
Okay. We'll put you on right after when you get back.
Okay. Thank you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right. No action right now. You can put them on later, move them down. Item 6 is moved to February 7th. Item 7, consideration of possible action on authorizing the county clerk to proceed with completing the draw of ARPA funds from the Department of the Treasury.
So,
Just so we can draw it right.
so I'll make a motion that we can move forward with it.
Now, I would point out, if I can, because you may want to adjust. As of today, we would be able to draw half of the allotment. The second half, I think, is released in May. I believe it is, that we can then draw the other half. So you can specify, do you want half or do you want it just as it's available?
I would ask that we draw half now and the other half in May.
Yeah.
Go ahead and so this will take care of both, is what I'm getting at. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So that was your motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second on item 7. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, Mr. Hickson. Item 8, discussion and possible action concerning interview with Mr. Terry Hickson concerning engaging him as a construction consultant to provide the Logan County Board of Commissioners with the scope of work and approximated cost needed to begin remodeling by floor the 6-story building attached to the courthouse annex as owned by the county. Sir, you and I walked up there and looked at all the
Looked around at the building.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of my background, I've been in the commercial construction business for 48 years. Retired about a year and a half ago. I was the general contractor for the old Guthrie Hospital over here. This building over here is in a lot better shape than what I took on over there. That being a historical building, there was a lot of things that we had to do that were very expensive that you won't have to do on this building. Talking to Marvin, he's talking cost. I can spend a little bit of my time, pull out some information on what I did over there that would be very compatible to what you would do over here to get this building up and running. And that would just be 3-year-old information of what it costs to do. To give you an estimate for this exact building, I would have to go to elevator company, electrical supply houses, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing is your big numbers to remodel this. So to get you an accurate estimate on what you're looking at, I would have to go hire them, meet them over here, walk through, get a scope of work. So I guess what I'm saying is, for a few $100s, I can pull out my old information to give you all something to chew on of what you might be up against on this building. Or I can take 4 or 5 weeks, go out and solicit MEPs mostly, roofing and brick registration, those kind of things I can estimate myself. But I need some guidance on how far you want to take this estimate.
A couple of questions for me was, one, in your opinion, would it be cheaper to tear that building down and start over, or remodel that building?
Remodel, without a doubt. It's a very good structure, poured in place concrete building. As we walked through, I saw no structural problems at all. All of the walls in the corridors are plaster, which could either be just skimmed out or painted. You're so far ahead of what I went through over here. I spent like $8.4 million on the old hospital. Now, $2 million of that was the outbuildings that are senior citizen apartments, is what I call them. So I really think you've got a good opportunity to get this up and running for $4 to $6 million, and not knowing square footages, not knowing updated prices. I know $2 million is a wide spread, but you've got a great structure over here. But you clean up the outside, you put new windows in, new roof, new elevator, new electric, heat and air, and then it's just tenant finish for each floor.
So what would your charges be on this project? Is that number figured into what you just told me, or?
No, I'm offering a service to give you an estimate. If you would like the information of what I spent 3 years ago to give you an idea of what you're going to spend over here, that's just a few $100s to pull that information up and put it on a piece of paper and submit it to you.
Okay.
In order to take this specific building, that's probably a few $1,000s, because we've got to give you accurate information. I've got to go measure, I've got to come up with square foot, I've got to meet with elevator manufacturers.
And Monty, at some point, we're gonna need to do that if we're gonna write a scope of work to get people to bid on doing the work over there on that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, the more detailed stuff is what we're gonna need to go out for bids. And one of the things that I would also add to this is Mr. Hickson is retired. He doesn't have a construction company anymore. He would not be involved in bidding on any of the work over there, other than to be a consultant for the Board of Commissioners, work for us to,
Correct.
to help get the best value for the dollar over there.
Well, I mean, my personal thoughts is I'd rather have the more accurate information as an estimate, you know.
You're biting your tongue, yes, ma'am.
The building maintenance account is funded, not looking at ARPA at all.
Right.
It would probably be a good investment to use that to get his estimate. What I'm saying is we don't have to depend on ARPA on that, because once we have that, we have that.
Right, right. So you're saying we can start now?
Uh-huh.
I guess
With
my
that,
point-
with that
Yeah.
step.
Yes.
I'd rather spend the 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever it might be to get the more accurate, just like, because we got quotes on a roof over there, and within 30 days it went up $11,000.
Right, right.
I mean, so the time he done the hospital, today's times, I mean, it's gonna be a big difference.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing. He'd have to estimate what, you said, what, 20-30% maybe?
Probably give the numbers I actually spent, and you'd
Right.
probably be safe by adding 20 or 25% to each number.
But I mean, I like what Monty's saying too. I mean, what we're going to do something with that building over there. And our two options was to fix it or make it go away. And
Good.
you've told us, and I think anybody that'll go walk and look at the concrete and the support structures of that building will see that it doesn't have a crack in it anywhere.
It's a great building, and if you look at the hospital over there, it was pretty nasty. It was abandoned for 40 years, and it cleaned up real nice. All the cast stone had black on it, and the brick looked terrible, and it's a pretty good looking building right now.
Yeah, you know, we got lucky and got a grant through DEQ that did the abatement on this one, so that part's already done.
That's right, and that's a big expense.
Yeah. So anyway, I would prefer to have the more detailed information so we know what we're fighting.
So, Terry, are you able to give us a pretty good ballpark cost of what your cost to the county would be for you to do that, to put together a detailed report on what that building needs to get it dried in, electrical, mechanical, and all the things we talked about, the windows and.
Yeah, we're talking about cleaning the brick up, replacement of windows, roof replacement. The gutter and downspouts look pretty good. We won't be able to match it, but everything up there looks pretty good right now. Removing and replacing the elevator, electrical, the heat and air, and plumbing. I don't think there'll be any plumbing other than maybe natural gas to the heat. But I would go to someone like United Mechanical, very large outfit in Oklahoma City, that would meet me out here. We'd walk through it. They would give the suggestions of, since you don't no longer have access to the boiler, all those pipes, everything's got to be removed, and they've got to come up with like a split system on each floor that so anyway, back to your answer, and I'm guessing around $5,000. That's my time. I first got to come out here and spend about a week and get some measurements, get some accurate information before I start calling other trades in to give you an accurate, and I think what you're asking me to do is to get the building up and running, and then you would go back to each floor, tenant finish. Or are you wanting a complete estimate?
No, I think what we wanted to start with, and you correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is what we talked about, is to get it dried in to the point where we can use some of our own labor workforce to finish the walls and that sort of stuff in each floor as we go up to do that.
Okay, so get the shell and upgrade the electric and the heat and air
And the
and
elevator.
then, and the elevator and then everything else.
Monty,
But yeah, I mean, that's my first thought is, I'm always more worried about the windows, you know, falling out, being a
Right.
liability, and, I mean, I'd like to start there. But I would like to do a walkthrough, maybe all of us, put it back on the agenda to see what he thinks of the load-bearing wall, what we can take out. You know, go through that.
would that need the architect to look at that?
It would, an architect or structural engineer to walk through. My opinion is each floor was poured in place and the walls were built up, so I don't think there's any load bearing from top to bottom, other than your elevator shaft that
Right.
you wouldn't want to mess with anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we can spend a lot of money, then still just have little bitty rooms. I mean, I don't know that that'd be a great benefit to the county just for, if we can't take some walls out.
So aren't most of those walls plastered between the concrete uprights?
Most everything in that building is
We
plastic.
wouldn't want to take out a concrete upright, you know?
No, you couldn't take out any columns,
Right.
support columns.
But in between them columns, you think we could take them out?
Oh, yeah. And that's a pretty big demolition job. That's,
Can't just throw it out the window into the dumpster 6 stories down?
well, it sounds easy, but, I know behind that plaster is, wire mesh
Yeah.
and, probably a wood frame wall. You're talking 30 to 40 dumpster loads and a lot of labor. But there again, if that's what you're looking for to take that out, there, I can just add that to the list, and that's one more trade that I need to get in here to walk it and give us a price.
Well, I mean, I don't think the building is really, would be beneficial to us if we don't take out some of those walls. I mean, if we can't open it up for a big office space, I mean,
Oh, I agree.
you know, we really don't need, I mean, it was set up for bedroom, I mean, hospital rooms, and, I mean, we don't need that, we need space. So I would like to add it. I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
Okay,
So we want to get an estimate on taking those out, those walls out too?
Yeah.
So what we'll need to do, Terry, is, we'll put you back on the agenda for next Monday, if you got time for that. And then we'll do a walkthrough as a board with you, and maybe look at which walls we would like to take out. Maybe, does that sound feasible, Monty?
Yeah,
or-
or maybe, you know, phase one, let's get it dried in, then phase two, we'll look at demo.
Floor by floor?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not in that line of work, so I don't know.
so what is next Monday?
The 7th.
The walkthrough?
I think the agenda's already posted for next Monday.
Well, it's not posted quite yet, but, or, I mean, as part of that, or you could have a special meeting to meet with him and any contractors.
I'm good with that too.
Okay. What we need from you is to nail down how much you need to do the detailed plan for us. And then-
Detailed estimate,
Detailed
because I don't
estimate, yes,
draw.
to dry it in.
Okay,
So that would include the roofs, or the roof, the windows, cleaning the brick, that's what he mentioned, electrical, plumbing, elevator, HVAC,
And demolition
and
of the
demo
walls.
of walls.
Well, demo walls will be a
Set
phase two.
aside.
I think.
Yeah, I'd say set it to the side.
Yeah.
and we can do the brick, the windows, and re-roofing, and then keep separate the upgrading electric, putting the elevator in. That would give you an exterior envelope. But while you're doing that, you might as well put the electric and mechanical in there.
Yeah, yeah. We definitely need the elevator because there's too many,
Yeah, the elevator, the way we had to do this down here, we had to cut the roof off. Get the old out and the new in, and then re-roof it back. And I'm sure that's what's gonna have to happen. So that the elevator would be part of, don't re-roof
right,
that shaft. You
right.
could re-roof the rest of it, but,
That takes a big old crane to do that, doesn't it?
yes. But that's part of the elevator price that you'll be getting.
Okay.
That'll be their deal. They'll make us, or make somebody take the roof off.
So can we put on the agenda for next Monday to approve or to discuss and approve what Mr. Hickson comes up with as far as the cost, his cost to do that detailed plan for the board?
Can you have that in a week?
Over the next week, I can make the phone calls, and then it'll be a series of meetings out here.
Well, what you yourself would charge the board to do the detailed plan. I mean, we need to approve that, get you started.
Right, and these
think-
people, if it was a real job that they were gonna get to bid with me, they would come out and do it for free, but doing it for you all and getting them out here, they're probably gonna have a charge, and that wasn't all just for me, that's,
Right. Okay.
that,
I see where you're going with that.
some of them will come out and do it as a courtesy, and others will say, hey, that's a couple of weeks worth of work, I got to charge for that. So, next
Especially
week,
the
I can,
structural engineers and those kind of people, right?
well, the architect and structural engineer and mechanical engineers, they're gonna have their own fee to provide a set of plans to put out to bid. Mine is going to be people that actually do the work.
Right.
Says, here's what it's gonna take to put a new elevator in there.
Okay.
So mine's an estimate, not it's just a number for you all to absorb before you go hire an architect and jump in to this thing.
Okay. Anything else, Terry?
That's all I've got. Do I need to be here next Monday, or do we pick a different day to walk through?
Probably we'll pick a different day to walk through based on
Okay.
availability of,
As soon as I can have that date, I would like to call as many people as I can to meet out here so that they understand what you're looking for.
yeah, I think so. Monty, you okay with a special meeting?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, is there a better day of the week for you, Mr. Hickson?
A cold day.
If it's sunshiny and 70, he's on the golf course.
Okay. So
He's
do we want to
retired.
shoot for like the 9th that the building is dark and with no services? We might want to do it later in the morning or early afternoon when the sun's good.
We went in at 9 o'clock the other day,
It was perfect,
and
yeah.
the daylight was
Okay.
more than fine. It's, with all those windows over there, you can pretty well see anything you want to see.
And some stuff you don't want to see.
We closed some.
So February 9th,
Some of them we couldn't close.
9 o'clock.
We can do 9 o'clock on the 9th.
Sure. You guys good at that?
Yes.
And I think a couple hours would be plenty too.
And I can put both items on the 9th.
Both items?
Right, because if he's gonna have vendors come out to walk through, he's not gonna be able to have his quote estimate prepared till he knows for sure what they're charging.
Correct. Once they look at it, they'll need time to give me a price.
So really back to the 15th probably for his quote.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate your help, sir. Okay. Back to item 5, consideration of possible action on final plant, Cumberland Farms in the north half, the northeast quarter, section 11-16 north, 3 west.
looking for language on here, you're gonna maintain the roads and the county roads going to it.
Yeah, it is privately maintained.
And all the county roads in the county that are connected to each
We
other.
tried to slide that, right?
You did. You gotta watch it.
Here's our notes section. There it is, under key notes.
I don't see it.
It's on here somewhere.
At the subdivision streets are private and will be maintained by property owners association. Streets will not be maintained by the county.
That was covered.
Well, that's more like it than, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the plat. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
How many lots do you know?
Like 28.
Well, good luck with them. Hope you have a lot of luck, a lot of success. Where's it at?
Kind of College and Broadway area. Right, just north of one of those golf courses. I think it's Cedar Valley,
Come on,
maybe.
that's what.
I think they're already in dirt.
Yeah, they're about to, they're hoping to wrap the gravel up this week, but we're getting close.
That was almost in your area, you know.
Boy, too bad for y'all, it's
Missed you by half mile.
What, half mile to the north or?
From Monty's. We just split up new areas.
So I think y'all's right east of Broadway, or west.
West of Broadway, but we have another one coming that's north of College, so that's all I'm asking.
Hey, you're in luck now, buddy. What do you say on that prayer?
Good to hear.
Okay.
They need a legal size, right?
You can take it and record it, and then you're gonna take a big one and go get the little one made.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, item 9, consideration possible action on ingress and egress agreement with Dusky Smith to clear trees in District 2.
Yeah, we're gonna be clearing some trees, some right of way, and he's offered to let us put some of these trees that we're clearing out.
over in the Village College area on his property, so.
Okay, all right, move to approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agreement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 10, consideration of possible action on rescinding resolution 21-108 establishing 2022 county holidays due to change of date for 89er Day holiday, and possible action on new resolution establishing 2022 county holidays with the correction of 89er Day holiday being observed on Friday, April 22nd, 2022. I don't ever want to hear a complaint about how long my rest of my items are on there.
Okay, so 89er Day has typically been observed the third Friday of April historically. When I drew the new resolution, I even checked the website, it hadn't been changed. It was only after that an employee noticed that there was a date problem. I called and was told that they decided that they would start using the weekend closest to the 22nd of April to observe. So it's going to move from year to year. It's not going to be always that third Friday. Did not know that at the time we did this.
The last day of February does that every 4 years.
Yeah. So we had done the previous resolution based on the third Friday, which made us closed April the 15th, which also happened to be the normal day. So that's why the next item on the agenda. This, by rescinding that and correcting this, would take the 89er holiday to April the 22nd.
I'll move we approve.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the change resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Chris, you want to go ahead and sign this while you're here?
I wish.
All right, item 11, consideration and possible action on changing the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County scheduled for April 14th, 2022 to April 15th, 2022.
I make them, oh,
Just so we can clarify, under statute, we can change a regular meeting with a 10-day notice. So this will forward and see it. I'm not going to change the actual form. We're going to use this as the change from the meeting date of the 14th, what was scheduled as the 14th to the 15th.
make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the change. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 12, consideration and possible action to approve transfer of funds from Estray Animal Fund to sheriff fee for reimbursement of cost of Estray Animal Pickup.
So you'll remember a few weeks ago, we had to create the new fund because of chart of accounts and the way we're being told we have to properly do things.
Right.
We did that. We deposited the checks from the sale of the animals that had been picked up by the sheriff's office. This is to reimburse him for the cost and the fees of maintaining those animals and the publication requirements of those animals back out of what we got from the sale.
Yeah, I move we approve.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the transfer of funds for the Estray Animal Fund to the sheriff's office. Any further discussion?
Just out of curiosity, how much is it, Mark?
It is $2,214.91. Buy a box of donuts.
Yeah.
Probably half. That's a half box.
Any further discussion? No? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes unanimously.
I will say, very seldom do we ever have to put money in that account, as we usually, it costs us more to retrieve, maintain, than we get it auctioned, so it's just kind of a unique situation.
That's what Troy was telling
Yeah,
me.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's usually, you're usually on the low end of that stick, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 13, consideration possible action on adopting official county seal. Now, this isn't a circus performing animal, this is a real, the real deal. So this is kind of what we've come up with. This isn't as sharp an image because I haven't paid to get it done in the raster file yet, but this is what we've come up with.
I saw your post.
Oh, yeah. There's this thing called social media that works.
Gets around.
Yeah. So I would bring this to the board for your consideration to approve as our new county seal. What are you doing?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the new county seal. Any further discussion?
Looks good.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, it does.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Chairman, we have nothing for 14, 15.
All right, no 14, no 15. Item 16, consideration possible action on consent agenda.
Payroll.
So why does the assessor get more travel than the two clerks?
Pardon me?
Why does the assessor get more travel?
That's statute.
Okay, makes sense to me. Oh, wait a minute, I understand why now. That doesn't make sense, but I understand. Other than they've got better lobbyists than you do. You're not even listening.
No, I am absolutely listening. I'm just thinking of my words, that's all. It goes back to a time when they were using personal vehicles to assess.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
There's something in this paper. That's the old.
State statute got you.
This the what?
Statute got you.
The statute?
The state statute.
Oh, yeah.
The treasurer statute. That are lobbyists.
Troy, I'm gonna have a meeting with Senator Hall and the district attorney this next week.
Okay.
Lunch kind of deal.
Okay.
Marty's been asking about this trust money, this $100,000. there some way I can get kind of a brief on that?
Economic.
Industrial development.
Yes, yes. That I can take to both of them and say, hey, can you
Yes,
look at, can you look at this for us?
I think the auditors are gonna be looking into it, since that was a question I received last week.
Well,
So,
Right, but I mean.
Monty's brought it up with the auditors.
exactly, and so when I got my last list of questions, we provide this, and this, one of them was, what did I know about that? And I told them that
The kids are all, well, we can.
that's something probably would be easier going over meeting about, so I don't know. But yes, I can do what I tell you, which isn't a whole lot. But yeah, I'll write something. When is your lunch?
Thursday.
Once we get an idea.
It doesn't have to be real detailed,
So
just,
that's something that you're, I mean, do we
you know,
have that?
I tend to talk in circles, and I don't understand this at all.
Well, I don't know that I really do, because I didn't get a response to
So that's something that.
Well, those are the kind of things that we need to make
Well, we'll have to
sure
get it
that none of us do. So that before, I could say I could let it
We'll check that out and make sure we can move forward with that, so we don't waste either one of our time. That would each of you guys a polling place, and I'm going to go on those two. It's always a conflict.
Say it's probably gonna, there's something programs approved, that's
Okay,
when.
and then it goes, dark house and then put a top on it.
I wasn't sure what she was making for.
I'll give you my personal copy. That would be wonderful. That would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What we're doing?
Jacob.
It's pretty done. I mean, you take a
Yeah,
second
yeah.
glance. So.
I was trying to look at
I kind of
that.
snatched
Travel
it.
pay.
Thank you.
election board. It's, yeah, it's just
Just
you.
me. Just signed it. One for the election board. A claim voucher for $4,911.98.
It's what the state reimburses us.
You want to look at it? Just needs one signature to it.
Alcoholic beverage tax.
All right, how much?
2630?
22,139. Guthrie let us down $15,715.
He's got great expectations on that.
Next month will be higher. December.
Wait a minute. Oh, December. Oh, that, yeah.
This
we
is
haven't-
November's.
We haven't hit New Year's Eve
Yeah.
sales yet. Okay. I see. We done?
That will conclude consent agenda.
Langston was over 2,300.
Meridian get $50?
I'll move we approve the
20.
consent agenda items.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second to approve consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 17, consideration action for possible claims for payments for January 2022. Sign here.
Mhm.
So it's a guessing game with me.
That's not the way to start off.
I ain't saying nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think there's two there.
So, looking at that six-story building over there, I've seen how other older buildings have been remodeled, and they put, they spray paint, they don't bring the ceiling down, they spray paint down to a level of about 8 feet, they spray paint it all black, and then all of the pipes and all the heat and air ducts and all that stuff are also painted black and go down through there, and they're kind of hanging like, I don't know, kind of in an art form, It looks kind of cool. And
Leans in.
it does, yeah. And I think it probably saves a little money doing it that way too. But all of those rooms have, what is that called, an escarpment, where they tip in and out at the top above the door, what is it? Anyway. And if you paint that black, you can bring all the pipes into the rooms,
It happens.
using that.
No.
That is stuff we were talking about.
Make a
earlier.
motion to approve claims.
I'll second
I have a
Cody's
motion and a second to approve claims. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, item 18, consideration possible action on purchase card payments for January 2022 in the amount of $677.85.
I'll move we approve.
Amazon orders.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the purchase cards. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. There you go, sir. Item 19. Comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners or other county officers and department heads. Sheriff?
No say.
Okay. I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, Ms. Clerk? No? Monty?
No, not really. I did go to the Mulhall Pork Chop dinner over the weekend, and I can't eat pie with them guys. It's auctioning off their coconut pies for $300 and $400 a piece.
Is that a slice or a whole pie?
And you got the whole pie for that. But they had a pretty good night though.
Good for them. Good for them. Cody?
This weekend there's a pork chop dinner in Coyle, so they're gonna be doing that, and other than that, just kind of getting ready for this winter storm coming in.
Yeah, should be fun, right?
Right.
Okay. I've got one other thing to bring up. At our next meeting, I've invited Aaron Finley from CEC to come talk to us. If you remember back when we were doing bridge selections and the criteria, I brought up to Aaron that, you know, it would be nice if we could figure out how many of our bridges we could replace with big culverts and the railroad car culverts, that kind of stuff. And he's come up with a number to do that, and it's somewhere around 33. At 30 feet long, there's a certain number of bridges that are candidates for that. And he's going to bring that information to us, and then we'll be able to kind of get a feeling for how many bridges they could do. They want to charge us $250 to do a desk audit for the hydrology studies for each one of those. They go all the way up to 65-foot bridges, and I'm not sure that a 60-foot bridge can be replaced with a 10-foot pipe culvert, but I'm not an engineer. But I think we should look at using some funds where we can reduce the number of bridges and the number of deficient bridges in our county. That would also show the state legislature that we are serious about reducing the number of deficient bridges we have. Anyway, we'll have that on the agenda for next Monday to talk with Aaron about.
And just heads up, I got a wind turbine company wanting to come to one of our meetings and do a presentation or something. It's supposed to be a $200 million project in northern Logan County, and they're wanting to get started this year.
Are they willing to donate for an animal shelter for the land?
Well, I don't know, we could ask them. I'm more concerned about the roads though, and I am.
Oh.
But anyway, we're probably gonna have to come up with a road use agreement, and I got one. I'll have Troy send it to you guys. Y'all can look over it. Kind of be thinking about that in the back of your mind.
Okay. Well, most of that wind turbine stuff is going on up in your part of the world, and any kind of road use agreement, I would recommend that our board look at reimbursing the district that has those roads in it. I mean, Cody, if you got wind turbines coming over to your place, tearing up your roads, we'd want to reimburse, where the damage is being done, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of what I was looking at. I don't have any down South County yet. I don't know how that would go over.
No.
There's not a whole lot of people who want to sell property for wind turbines down in South County. They make more money developing that for new housing starts. But yeah, Monty, I appreciate you bringing it to us. And when do you know when they might?
I don't. I met with them the other day, and the project engineer is supposed to contact me, and he'd like to get on the agenda and talk to the board.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, and you don't have anything? Shot. Just been glad you're feeling better. All right, item 20, consideration possible action on adjournment.
I'll move with adjourn.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.